Okay, boxing fans, this is the post-fight for Adrian Broner versus Carlos Molina. Bit of a stinker fight really, so I'm not going to have too much to say about this. Broner was significantly bigger than his opponent Carlos Molina. He was stronger, faced a better opposition, stupid to one favourite, and even though Broner had all that, and he deserved to win the match, he was just, meh, not that good. If anything, I would say he's a regressing fighter, and it's been basically rubber stamped that he's more hype than anything else. More hype than anything really. You know, we'll go on to where we see him going and stuff soon, but you know, for me personally, there's no need for Broner to fight the following guys: Matisse, Provodnikov, Garcia, and especially Manny Pacquiao. You might as well just cross them off the list, and if he's going to try and get a fight with them, just take an automatic L, because even though it would be nice seeing him get beat up again, you know, he's not going to be competitive. He's not going to beat any of them. There's no point. In fact, basically, if they are from Mexico or Argentina, he need not apply for the fight. The only safe fight that I actually do see for Adrian Broner is Lamont Peterson, because Adrian Broner could land a punch and just on the end of Peterson's chin, and then bang, glass everywhere. So I'm going to bring in a few of the guys now. I'm going to bring in Paul first. I just want to know, Paul, what did you think of that fight?
I wasn't impressed by Adrian Broner at all. I really wasn't. Carlos Molina is a domestic level lightweight. If he was British, I don't think he'd even win the British title. And I don't want to go in too hard on him, because he's just a fighter trying to make a living at the end of the day. But he's not world class. He never will be world class. And this was a warm-up fight. That's all it was, a glorified warm-up. And Adrian Broner, yeah, he won the fight, and he won it clearly. And I'd say he won it fairly easily, but he didn't look at all impressive. I don't think he gave Molina at all. He didn't knock him down. He didn't show us anything new. You know, he still looked slow and easy to hit. And when you're getting in with fighters who are at least a stone lighter than you, and don't have all the skills and advantages that you have, you've got to impersonate him. And I really don't think he was at all impressive.
I agree. I mean, Amir Khan, compared to Adrian Broner, the way he fought him, pretty much decimated him compared to Broner. And Amir Khan got a lot of stick for that fight. He said people said he didn't do very well. You know, he wasn't impressive. But compared to Adrian Broner, he was very impressive in my opinion. And I mean, the class difference between Broner and Khan is vast. It's a gap, and a lot of people don't rate Khan, but you've got to admit Khan handled that opponent significantly better than Broner did. So Paul, I'm going to say to you now, you're going to have to play matchmaker. You want Broner to win and do well now. Just visualise that. What do you do with him? What weight do you put him at, and who do you have him fight?
If he could make 135, if he could go back to lightweight, then I think he should definitely go back to there, because he's a lot bigger at lightweight, he's got more power, and he can bully guys. But if he can't make lightweight anymore, which I suspect he can't, because he's abused his body too much, then he stays at 140, and I'd try and get him in with Lamont Peterson, to be honest. Remember, you've got to, if I was Al Hagen or whoever it is in charge of Broner's career, you'd get him that fourth world title or whatever, you'd milk it for all it's worth and call him a 4-weight world champion who's like only 23 or 24. Do you know what I mean? Adrian Broner is not going to be a pound for pound level fighter. He's never in a million years going to be pound for pound number one. He's not Floyd Mayweather's successor. I'm sorry, I don't see how he's going to do any of that based on his last few fights.
Yeah, I suppose. We'll bring in one of the other guys now. We'll bring in Ryan. So Ryan, you there? And if so, what did you make of that fight?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good fight. I thought
really?
that. Well, I mean, like, you know, I think that Molina actually came to make a name for himself. I think he actually came to you know, win. It wasn't just there for the payday. Like Paul just said, he was, I wouldn't say, you know, like a glorified sparring partner or whatever. He was obviously brought in to lose. He was obviously brought in to be the opponent because Broner was coming off of a loss. Molina was there to be the guy who loses to make Broner look good. Something which Al Heyman gets a lot of stick for, that his fighters get easy sort of pushover wins. But Broner was supposed to win. He was 1-5 on to get a knockout, and he didn't even come close to that. So I thought Molina did well for himself to actually fight a guy who was clearly at least a stone heavier than him in the ring. I mean, the size difference between the two was just huge. So I thought that it was an okay fight for somebody coming back off of a devastating loss to Maidana, because Maidana just wiped the floor with him. So it was an okay win to come back from. I mean, Molina had just gone 10 rounds with Amir Khan not long before, but I agree with Paul that he was supposed to be in there to destroy the guy, and he didn't even come close. He did win the fight fair and square because he coasted to the win in the last, the second half of the fight. But in that first half of the fight, it was even Steven, and I wasn't impressed with Broner.
Okay, so now you're going to play matchmaker. Where do you want to put Broner, and what do you want to do with him?
Yeah, I think he should stay at light welterweight or welterweight. Like I said, he was huge at the weight. I don't even think he could make lightweight right now. So therefore he has to stay at least lightweight, welterweight or welterweight. And to be honest, the quality of opposition is the equivalent at 140 or 117. I mean, 140's got Lucas Matisse and Provodnikov and Danny Garcia, and I agree with Paul that he should probably go for somebody like Lamont Peterson rather than say Lucas Matisse or Danny Garcia. And at welterweight he's got Bradley and Pacquiao and Mayweather and Marquez and all that. But of course all of those fighters are ruled out because they're top ranked fighters. Pacquiao, Marquez, Bradley. So if I was him, I'd go for something like Lamont Peterson, high profile fight, winnable fight. I'm not sure if he will win it though. And aside from that, I'm struggling to think of who. Mauricio Herrera, I think he's a golden boy. That would be another. But even Mauricio Herrera, look what he did to Danny Garcia, and I think he would make it really difficult for Adrian Broner. So my opinion is he's got to get in there with a name who is beatable, somebody like Lamont Peterson. And I agree with Paul that he is not a pound-for-pound star. He never was. Those people who were rating him as a pound-for-pound top 10, that was only because Ring Magazine, which is, Golden Boy magazine, had him in their top 10. If Ring Magazine, Ring Boy, Golden Boy Ring, if they weren't sticking their own fighters in the top 10 all the time, like Saul Alvarez or Adrian Broner or Danny Garcia, before his win over Lucas Matisse, I don't think a lot of people would believe it. So no, he's very overrated, and even though he's probably slightly less overrated now after the Maidana loss, he's probably still overrated.
Okay, well, thanks for your input, Ryan, and we'll get you back later. That's all. We're going to leave it there because, there's not really much else to say. Broner won. He was supposed to win. It was a showcase fight for him, coming off a horrible loss, and he struggled in it. That's all you can say. Where does he go now? Well, I'm not his promoter or his matchmaker, so I don't know. Like I said, I would aim him for Lamont Peterson, because Lamont Peterson's overrated as well, significantly, especially in the chin aspect. And like I said, I think he's a regressing fighter, Broner. I honestly think he's regressing. I mean, beforehand we all thought he had the power. Now we know he doesn't have the power. And at 140, he doesn't look like he's got the power. So we'll have to wait and see. Thanks for listening, guys.